Anselmo, I want to ask you some few questions. In your evidence in chief, you informed court that you were you are attached to the motor vehicle squad and you deal in tracking. Remember something like that?
Yes.
Does your job description also involve tracking of phones? In your ordinary course of duties, do you also track
In the
phones?
ordinary course of duty,
Yeah.
tracking phones, yes.
Okay. And in your evidence in chief, you remember telling us about you are going to Wate when you are tracking these phones. Can you tell court how are you able to establish the location of these phones in issue? What guided you?
I think you are calling the repetition of my statement, but I can still repeat it. I told you, I got in touch with the complainant to swap his phone, his SIM card, and he put in another similar phone, an iPhone, and therefore trace the previous device using an app called Find My Device. And that's how the location of the stolen phone was supported.
It is common knowledge that when you do an examination or an analysis, you have what you'd call a backup position. For instance, if you submit anything for analysis in the lab, the person in the lab will be able to tell you, can you tell court, can you be able to prove to court how you're able to do this other than what you're telling court? Is it documented? Is it most obliged, my lord. With specifics, other than what you are telling court, is there anything else you can prove or show to court that this is how I was able to move from point X to Y?
To move from point X to Y.
Yes.
We used the phone's coordinates.
Coordinates.
The stolen
Are they
coordinates.
tabulated? Can they be tabulated in any form? Can they be shown? Can they be reduced in data or something like that? Other than word of mouth.
I remember mentioning them in court. And if I can be given the record, I can show you the coordinates.
Those were figures which you gave us, but I'm asking a specific question. From point X to point Y, can it be tabulated? Like you are tracking a vehicle, you said you track vehicles. And I know.
Like the tabulating in which way?
Showing the movement. How do you
Showing the movement.
Yes. Like
Yeah,
a vehicle.
it can, so long as we can get the coordinates now, I can show you how the distance will lead even back to the same place.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If it is a motor vehicle, you can easily track
Yes.
this vehicle from Court of Appeal
Yes.
or to Nakasero, wherever it is.
If you want, you can tabulate it with a screenshot. If you don't want, you can leave it.
Did you do it? Do you have one?
No.
In your evidence, you said that you requested the complainant to get an alternative phone. And your evidence was that it was not even registered in his phone, in his name, the iPhone. Did he contact that person, and who is that person he contacted to help him out?
Oh, you are mistaken. I think I need to mention to get an alternative phone. I told him to make a swap, not to get an alternative.
Okay, so who is that person who helped him out?
It is the complainant who knows him, not me.
And you told court that when he informed you, he had gotten this information. That was, I think, on the eve on 2nd. Is it by coincidence that that is the very day that even the police went to do the search?
No.
Hmm?
No.
What is the no for?
We got the information on the 2nd, the search was done on the 3rd.
So the search was made before you discovered or retrieved the phones?
The search was what?
Was done before you recovered the phones?
Yes.
You told court that you had your boss, I think Tabu, something like that? Yes, Tabu Joel. Don't you find it strange that he was already at the scene long even before you got there?
It was not strange because one, when I informed him of the scenario and me proceeding there, I equally gave him coordinates. He used it to reach the same place. Because these are, we just normally complicate it to call it coordinates, but we use a GPS. Every phone has GPS, so it is very easy to direct you to the point you want.
In the event that you are making a follow-up on someone, by the way, were you able to establish when you got these phones, when they had last been used?
Were you able to establish?
Mm.
Yeah, that part was done by my boss.
Who is your boss?
Tabu Joel. By imaging them outside.
Can you throw more light to that on imaging? Does that reflect when this phone was used? For instance, if it was last used Tuesday last week, can it store? Can you be able to establish when it was used?
To establish when it was last used.
Yeah. All that process from a certain date to another.
No, we didn't.
What does imaging mean?
Pardon?
What does imaging mean? You said
Now, imaging means where you have doubt on the phone that it belongs to so and so. You can check whatever is inside to establish really does the content belong to the person alleged to be the owner or not.
Okay. So that is for purposes of establishing ownership.
Exactly.
Like what video someone played, whether you were last played by Cookie Promotion or wherever it is. Now, does it, so apart from confirming the ownership, you cannot be able to establish when this phone was used. I've given you a scenario. If it was last used Wednesday last week.
Let me give you the best answer there. The phones were stolen in the morning of 29th. Hidden in a shoe. Probably not used until we recover it on the 3rd. Still hidden in the shoe, not used. So it can't give you the record. that it has been used? Because you have just kept it's dormant.
Can you establish with certainty that this phone has not been in use in the absence of any data, in absence of anything documented? Or you're just assuming?
If you have interest, you can establish.
Now you as an investigator,
Mm.
don't you think it would have been good for you to establish what happened from the material date to the time you recovered? You are not interested in it?
I was interested in an exhibit, that's all.
So if you are only interested in the exhibit, chances are it could have even been planted there, since you cannot establish its movement, its usage. You can't rule it out.
That's your say.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was interviewing A2, she could not even explain how things went there. Apart from telling me, I woke up and I found my husband seated on the bed, and how my husband came, I don't know. How she left, I don't know. So,
Yeah, that one also reinforces the presumption. She doesn't know, and she was right to do so. Meaning, wait. Meaning, you cannot rule out the prospect that was simply planted. Since you don't have anything in support, would they expect you to come? You are the officer in charge, and then you are saying you're not interested in establishing how this phone could have been used between a certain point and another.
I think you have answered your own question.
I'm asking you, you left it hanging. So we take it that, in short, there is no data record, full data record, as regards this phone, or any one of them. Were you able to establish in respect of any one of them?
No.
Call data record.
As regarding these phones,
Yes.
these phones,
Mm.
no.
Finally, as a person who was in charge or was part of the investigation, do you still stand by your statement that you are not interested other than just retrieving the exhibit? You didn't mind, you didn't bother to find out how they could have gotten there?
We bothered, and our interest was to find my device, and that's how we got the exhibit.
Without any supporting document, evidence, apart from what you are telling court.
And there is none which has ever been issued on that. In the court history, you will never find that record.
That's what you think, but other serious people do
Not
better than
what
that.
I think, but what I know internally.
You are not an expert in this, and an IT person, you are just a tracker.
That's what I know internally.
Yes, that's what you know. That's what you know. I'm not, my Lord, most of like you. That is all for the witness.
ono egambye abitera n'ekitongole ekitwakira emmotoka ekya poliisi era nga trakinga n'amasimu nti odero nga bituuseewo yagamba yawaba omusango okufuna layini empya oba okuzaako layini ye nebagiteeka mu simu endala ne bateekamu apu egamba enoonya esimu ebuze era esimu y'okulengera okutuufu lwebagizungu nti teyakuba kifaananyi okulaga esimu yo engeri eyatambulamu naye baafuna ebikukwata esimu we yaali ennaku z'omunsi bbiri ne bagenda emasatu okukola saaki nti nga bagendayo yasooka kusheyalinga oba ekifo esimu ali n'omupoliisi gwe bayita tabu jowe era tabu jowe namala nazikebera okumanya minisito yaali alimu esimu nti baziba nga ali mumunda era ne bazitereka mu ngato batazikozesa tuusa nga ssatu nga baziggyeyo era yayogeramu newokubiri naye nga yali tasobola kunyongera esimu zali zizze zitya mu nyumba.
Do you have chairs? No?
Much obliged, my lord. My lord, I request for PE24. PF17 examination. I'm going to ask you to look at this document and I ask you a few questions. Yes, arising out of cross-examination. Mr. Jabi, do you recognize that document?
It is a police form 17A.
Can you outline the dates on that document to court? The dates. The
On-
dates on the document. Look at
on
the
the-
document. Look at the document.
Yes, I'm looking at it on the river.
Yes.
On the address, it is dated 1st October 2022. That's the address.
October.
What do you mean by that?
1st October 2022.
What do you mean by the address?
The address here.
The corporate.
Yeah.
And then?
What other dates do you see on that document?
I'm also seeing where they are supposed to receive 17th October 2022.
Yes. Lastly,
And the confirmation by the stamp 18th October 2022.
so the question is, how do you reconcile these dates on one document?
I recall 1st October 2022. It was a busy schedule and it is the time I prepared the document for submission, but I didn't submit
Which date?
for GAL.
Which date?
1st October 2022 is the date I prepared the document for submission to GAL, but I didn't submit.
How about the 17th?
Now, 17th is the date I submitted
To where?
to GAL, but neither did they receive it.
And then 18?
18th is the date they received, and even gave me a lab number, TX 797/22. So that's how the difference comes in.
You've told court that you submitted on the 17th. Why wasn't it then stamped on the 17th?
The person to receive was not present, and therefore they kept it for me till the following day when the person who receives comes. Then I was called and I picked it after receiving. After which it was already kept there.
So where did you leave these documents on the 17th?
On the 17th,
Yes.
at reception girl
With who?
with police officers.
And who was this person who was